Hare Krishna Prabhu, you are mute, I think.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shrinivari Pashyadya Shatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Svanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyai vicha patitanam pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So we continue in our most pleasurable topic to understand Srila Prabhupada more and more from the eyes of the scriptures, specifically Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion, of course Krishna book, and Nectar of Instruction, and such other books. Last week we went into discussing how Srila Prabhupada is appearing as Nitya Siddha. Very nice topics were started to be discussed. Krishna Kishore Prabhu brought some nice point, Balaram Prabhu brought some nice point, and we went into the discussion of Nitya Siddha and Shaktive Shavtar, that all Nitya Siddhas are not Shaktive Shavtars, but all Shaktive Shavtars have to be Nitya Siddha. That is kind of a premise that we are building up. And if you want to discuss that further, we can for some time on this particular point. Krishna Kishore Prabhu, you have any other point to add in your last 1 week of meditation? We can't hear you, Prabhu. No, we cannot hear you at all. No, Prabhu, we cannot hear you at all. Something is wrong. Can anyone else hear him?
No, Prabhu, can't hear them.
Okay. No, we cannot hear you, Prabhu. I have to log out and log in back again or something.
Krishna, can you hear me now? Yeah, it was the microphone was connected.
Okay, Prabhu. We cannot hear you again. I think he's going to go up. So Shaktive Shavtar, we were discussing how he is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, very authoritatively. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes there are 5 kinds of avatars, and one is Shaktive Shavtar. And there are many innumerable Shaktive Shavtars, but only a few are mentioned. And Krishna gives his Shakti, some kind of potency to a living entity, and then they appear together, like Nara and Narayana. Like that, Krishna and his pure devotees, they appear together always. Yes, Krishna Kishore Prabhu, we are back. I was just
Now you can hear me, Prabhu?
Yes, very well, Prabhu.
Oh, okay. So I was just saying that I think it was quite clear for me. I really enjoyed the points that you gave, and it made it clear. like all these doubts. So you were summarizing like last discussion. I just think that I would like to ask, like, then is it possible? So far we have read it's possible for a conditioned soul to get to the Nitya Siddha stage, go back to Godhead, and then descend as Shaktive Shavtar, right? It was like the conclusion from all the
Narada
points that
Muni.
you gave.
Yes, Narad Rishi, Narada Muni. That's right, Prabhu.
Okay, bro. Thank you.
We become, I mean, I do feel meaning sometimes Srila Prabhupada, no, because he is so much he wants, I mean, just to emulate him, because he is so, like just the choice of why Lord Chaitanya chose him, particularly him, to descend with him, giving him the potency and then descending with him and playing with him this whole pastime of taking the holy name around the world. He's to be that devotee, Srila Prabhupada, not that devotee, Srila Prabhupada, he must have desired like that, to serve the Lord like that, and to be in this pastime of the Lord like very closely. And basically because of mame vamsha jivloke jivbhuta sanatana, that whole what Lord says that they are suffering, and that whole consciousness he is absorbed within himself, taken that burden of the Lord, even though it's a transcendental pastime of the Lord, but it's a transcendental burden which Srila Prabhupada has taken. So it's not like in this life he took or anything. The reason why Lord descended with him is because he must have desired like that. Because the Srila Prabhupada has told us many times that the devotee, the pure devotees, Krishna appears or takes the form of the Lord, takes the form which the devotee desires him. Just like Prahlad Maharaj was desiring him as his maintainer and protector. So the Lord took this form of Nrsingadev. And similarly, so Srila Prabhupada must be desiring like that to serve the Lord. And so in the external manifested pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are that he comes to explain the whole, the whole uh, Leela of Lord Krishna to all the conditioned souls. So somehow the other Srila Prabhupada desired like that in Goloka, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chose to come with him. So similarly, we could, I mean, not in this pastime. This pastime, Srila Prabhupada is our master, but we could also, you know, like hope against hope, like it's a whole thing that if we are able to some uh, universe, some time, we could also serve the Lord like that, and experience the pastime of the Lord like that. There are innumerable universes. You can't even count. Lord Shesha is carrying each universe like they are mustard seeds. So these are always going to go on. The jail will always be there. So just to learn from Srila Prabhupada, not only in this pastime of the next 10,000 years in this universe, but future, all those universes are there. So as you said, sadhana siddha, we could go in some, I don't know which lifetime, but we could go back and we would then be counted as Nitya Siddhas. And then we could also, if we desire to do, to serve the Lord like that, and if He may choose. So that is there. Anyway, so Balram Prabhu, you have any other thing from the last week to discuss before we go forward?
I just came in, so I don't know what you've already discussed. Sorry, I was late.
Yeah, no problem. We were discussing um, about that. We were discussed last week about all Nitya Siddhas. Uh, they all Shaktive Shavtars have to be Nitya Siddhas, but all Nitya Siddhas need not be Shaktive Shavtars. But Sadhana Siddha can become Nitya Siddha Nitya Siddha means resident of the spiritual world, then they could come down based on whatever reason of the Lord. So that's what we.
So just to clear that finally, or maybe not finally, but
Yeah.
this point is, you know how we have Naishtaki brahmachari and then we have brahmachari? So
Yeah.
there's a difference.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there must be a name or a label and a position of those who have never, ever, ever, ever fallen into the material world, have never spent time here as conditioned souls. So those who were conditioned and become Nitya Siddha, okay, let's accept that. And there are those who have never been in the condition. Do we have any information about a different name for them?
No.
Okay.
Srila Prabhupada exactly explains that when sadhana siddha or kripa siddha they become Nitya Siddha, they are counted as Nitya Siddha. There is no distinction. He explains this by examples. He gave the example of Hudson River is right here. Hudson River goes to Atlantic Ocean and then it mixes with the ocean. Then one doesn't consider that water is Hudson water or this water or that water. It's ocean water. So he gave that example to show that, explain that Nitya Sadhana Siddha or Kripa Siddha, when they become Nitya Siddha, it does not matter at all where they
Yeah,
are.
see, we've come across information where, let's say, on the neophyte level or the beginner entrance level or whatever level, it said this, but later on we find out on the higher level that there are details explaining differences.
Could
But
be.
just,
Yeah.
Prabhupada, a lot of times saying, you don't need to know this, just accept this or this, and then later we get. I think Krishna
Yes.
Kishore Prabhu wants to say something.
Yes, Prabhu.
Uh,
Hare
What
Krishna.
about Hare Krishna?
It's your,
Hare
we
Krishna.
see your chanting all the time. So beautiful, Hare Krishna mantra chanting. I love it all the time.
Que ama su canto del Mahamantra Hare Krishna, que ve cómo canta todo el tiempo. Yes, bro, I wanted to say about what Balaram Prabhu was saying, because then what is the difference? Those Nitya Siddhas who are expansion of Krishna's internal potency. Let's say we are expansion Tatasta Shakti, right? But then it seems that there are Nitya Siddhas, living entities, who are expansions of Krishna's internal potency. Like Prabhupada actually mentioned, I was quoting the last time, here I have it, Srimad Bhagavatam 10:9-20. Prabhupada says that she is therefore, referring to Mother Yashoda, she is therefore a Nitya Siddha devotee, an expansion of Krishna's Hladini potency, his potency to enjoy transcendental bliss through expansions who are special devotees. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavi Tavihi, Brahma Samhita 537. Such devotees are not sadhana siddhas. So it seems that Prabhupada is dividing like those nitya siddhas who reach nitya siddha through sadhana siddha, and those nitya siddhas who are expansion of Krishna's internal potency. Because then the question may arise, like, we are tatasta shakti, so we have the tendency to go to the other point of serving the external energy. Even once we get liberated, Krishna says that we don't come back to this material world. I think is that verse from Bhagavad Gita, where when we understand his activities, appearance like that. So he says that we don't come back to the material world once we go to the spiritual world. I don't have the exact quote, but I remember reading where Prabhupada is asked whether if we are in the material world, we can descend again. And Prabhupada says that as many times we want, we can come, because that's our nature, Tatasta Shakti, so we can decide to come back again. But then, what is the position of those Nitya Siddhas, living entities, who are direct expansions of Krishna's internal potency, like Mother Yashoda? Is she Tatasta Shakti? Is she Jiva Tattva, Vishnu Tattva? She has that. If she is Tatasta Shakti, she can become a condition. I don't think so, but I'm just asking. Like I remember also in 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says that we cannot aspire to become like Mother Yashoda or his father Nanda Maharaj, because these are, I don't exactly, maybe I can try to find it,
Portion.
but something like that is mentioned, Prabhu. So just what Balaram Prabhu was
Gauranga
saying.
Sundar Prabhu, can you answer this thing? Gauranga Sundar Prabhu, you there?
Yeah, Prabhu. Hello.
Yeah. You heard?
No, I just joined.
The question is that are there any souls who are there any Nitya Siddhas who never fall down ever? Because their Srila Prabhupada says even if Sadhana Siddha, Kripa Siddha, they become Nitya Siddha, then it does not matter how they are Nitya Siddhas, they never fall down. So
Yeah,
yeah, who are they? What are they called?
the Antaranga devotees of Krishna, they don't fall down.
What
Through expansions of Srimati Radharani potency and also Balram Sambej Sandani Shaktis, So the direct expansions, they don't fall down who are serving Krishna. They're called Nitya Parishads. They're Nitya, they're always serving like Priya Narma Sakhas, Krishna's Priya Narma Sakhas or Radharani Rashtra Sakhis, Astmanjaris. They don't fall down.
So question was that Krishna Kishore Prabhu was reading last week. There was a letter of Srila Prabhupada where he was writing that yes, he was saying yes, you are correct to say that something something, and then basically he was saying about there's out of the 6 Goswamis, 4 were sadhana siddha.
Yeah, Jiva Goswami, he mentioned mostly. Jiva Goswami was sadhana siddha.
Only
Rup
and Raghu,
Raghunath, yeah, Rup and Raghunath were Nitya Siddhas.
Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Chaitanya Charitamrita keep saying Rupa Raghunath are
Yeah,
there.
Rup Raghunath, yeah.
But
Rup
he
Raghunath. So
mentioned about the 4 other Goswamis. So how do we understand the 4? But they were Manjaris. So how did they fall down?
they did not fall down. They were expansion became who came here means fall down in the
Sadhana
sense,
Siddha. Prabhupada says sadhana siddha, meaning they fall down. No?
means fall down is now we may think it's fall down, but nothing fall down from Vaikuntha. That also Prabhupada said. So
But we are
it's a
falling
dream of
down.
Mahavishnu. It's a
But
dream of Mahavishnu.
let's go into that part right now. But my point is, one thing is that sadhana siddha means they were nitya baddha one time. No? Then they became,
Yeah.
then through the sadhana they became nitya siddha.
Prabhu,
Yeah.
sorry to
See,
interrupt here.
Prabhu?
see, one can, yeah.
So, actually, let us take a step back and understand. Maybe I'm not sure if it was already discussed about expansion. When we talk about expansion of manjaris, or that we say, no, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada is mentioning, no, expansions. So, what does actually, how technically it works? It is not an incarnation, or they are not coming here, but it is mentioned as expansion.
That's right. So, see the expansions. I don't understand the point in this relation. Could you please explain further?
So, as the question is raised that about falling down, right? And as you have asked, the two Goswamis are Nitya Siddha, but others are Sadhana Siddha. So they were in some state, not in Vaikuntha. They did sadhana and they became Nitya
No,
Siddha.
it's not like that, It's not like that. If I can, just explain. There are devotees in Vaikuntha, in Golok Vrindavan, who are in Shanta Bhav. They want to upgrade their bhavas. That can be done. So for those devotees who are in Shanta Bhav, it's clearly explained by Prabhupada, many other acharyas also, they are put into this, that's they can technically call it a fall down. It's called upgradation of, like for example is given, if you want to get a surgery done, you have to go to an operation theater. And then there's an expert doctor who does research, who does operation on you, and then after operation you are perfect, then you are put out into the open world. Same way, people who want to upgrade their Shanta Bhav, especially, they want to upgrade their Sarup, they are technically put into the Mahavishnu dream, where they come, where they put into this material world, where they want to upgrade their this Swarup, and they meet a Nitya Siddha devotee from there. He is infused by Swarup Shakti, the Swarup Shakti that is called the Bhakti Rata Bij, and it's planted in the house in the heart, through which they can upgrade their Swarup and they can come to Manjari Bhav or any other Bhav which they want. So technically, when Prabhupada is saying that 5 were sadhana siddhas, it was from other rasa they upgraded to Manjari Bhav. That is what I understand this how.
Okay, so 1 second. Let us come back to the Nectar of Devotion. Srila Rupa Goswami very clearly explains that sadhana, sadhana means uh, till the asakti level. See, till the Swarupa is revealed. Now, after the Swarupa is revealed, then one is put under the one raga. Basically, we practice under a ragatmika bhakta, ragatmika bhakti, under a associate of the Lord. Now, let us say there was a Shanta Bhav at the Asakti level. There is Shanta Bhav we are doing. Now, I don't understand because he is in the spiritual world. Why do they have to come back to a dream of Mahavishnu to upgrade in the spiritual world? Like why there is a question of Mahavishnu even?
Narad Muni went to Vrindavan at Narada Kunda to get his Manjari Swarup Naradika Gopi. He did not get upgraded in Vaikunta. He became Naradika Gopi to serve in Vrindavan. He had to come to Bhumi Vrindavan. Under a Gopi, he had to do meditation and serve and get his Swarup upgraded at Narad Kunda, which is opposite of Kusum Sarovar in Vrindavan. He did that. So he's a eternally liberated soul, but he also got his Swarup and Manjari later. Not he wanted to serve. That's what Bhakti Thakur sings. Narad Muni Bhajaya Vijana Radhika Raman Gane. Before that he was singing Om Namah Bhakti Vasudevaya. Now he wanted to upgrade. He saw Krishna. He got attracted to Krishna. He wanted to serve Krishna in Manjari Bhav. So he came to Vrindavan. He did at Tapasya. He did his Veena, everything at Narad Kund. He wrote Bhakti Ratam. He wrote Narad Bhakti Sutra there. And he got Naradika Manjari Swarup there.
Prabhu, uh, with all due respect, see, it may be there. I'm philosophizing that I cannot believe it. Because
Believe what?
pastime, it could be a pastime for showing us, the souls what to do. But why do pure devotees have to, who are already resident of Goloka, of Vaikuntha Loka?
Lakshmi Devi is doing tapasya. Lakshmi Devi saw Krishna. She left Narayan to do tapasya in Madhuvan. She's already doing tapasya for the last 5,000 years to get entrance into the Rasa Leela of Krishna. So why she's already serving Narad Muni? Sorry, Narayan. Already serving Narayan. Why she wants to get attracted to Krishna? Why she wants to serve to Krishna? Lord Shiva, Vaishnava Shambhu, he became Gopeshwar Mahadev in Vrindavan, seeing Krishna. So all you can see, all pure devotees, when they saw Krishna, they got attracted and they wanted upgradation of the Sarup. Lakshmi, Narad Muni, Lord Shiva, he became Gopeshwar Mahadev.
Okay, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
That what is the problem in the pure devotees who are in Vaikuntha Loka in going to seeing Krishna by going to Goloka by having a visit of somebody, of some devotee, because they are desiring like that, because they hear, because they are in Vaikuntha, they also hear Shukdev Goswami talking or some other pure devotee talking
Yeah.
about Krishna's pastimes.
But the desire to
Why do they have to come
serve.
down to Bhauma Leela pastime of Krishna?
But that is
Can
what
I
happened,
can
na?
I can
You
I
can
can I
see
just
these
add
three
something?
these three
Nimai Pandit.
cases happened this way. Examples are there right there. No, he came to Vrindavan. He's at Vrindavan serving at Gopeshwar Mahadev.
So okay, so could it be that, see, many times there are pastimes examples
See, we
all.
can give them pastime, but these are
Also,
realities.
but
These
of
are
course,
realities. It happened.
but one thing is that many times we hear that even pure devotees in Goloka, they also expand into Bhauma Leela. Just like we have so many devotees
No, Lord Shiva was not expansion of this. He was not allowed entrance. You have to read
Shiva,
that.
nine,
Lord Shiva
nine. 9
Lord
rupas.
Shiva was Lord Shiva was not allowed entrance into the Ras Mandala. He wanted to enjoy with Rasalila with Krishna. He was not allowed. He told you have to first accept Gopi Swarup. And
Prabhu,
that's why he accepted Gopi.
yeah.
Even Lakshmi Devi, still she had not accepted in Vrindavan. She's doing tapasya. For last 5,000 years, she's doing tapasya because she cannot give up her Lakshmi. I am Lakshmi, that aham, you know.
You look at the whole uh, photo of the whole Goloka, the first canto picture, no? Boma Lila is like so small somewhere. I mean, in the whole thing is the whole existence is actually the spiritual world. Why do they have to come down? Whatever you are seeing, whatever we are seeing, it is true. But that doesn't mean that that is the way to do it. There may be some reasoning why, or some expansion or something happening, but I cannot, like, no
Nimai Pandit Prabhu,
can
can
say
I
that
ask?
one Vaikuntha
Even Brahma has to take birth in this Bharat Varsha to
because of
become
conditions.
to go to Goloka.
Yes, Balram Prabhu?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just wanting to really put this, that just because you can't believe it for whatever reason,
Logical,
it
logic.
doesn't mean, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that just because some logic limit is there, that it can't happen. We're not going to try to bend something or find something to match your logic. What we should do, as you point out to us many times, is let's find the scripture, and if there are examples. So, are there examples of devotees in the spiritual moving from Shanta Ras into another bhava in the spiritual world? Do we have examples of that?
Gauranga Sundar Prabhu, what happened to that what is that Gopa who went back? What is that example?
Gopakumaras.
What was that?
I mean, this context, I'm not understanding your context in this.
That devotee was there, no? Who Sanatan Goswami talks about.
Brihad Bhagavad myth. Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
that?
So he went to Vaikunt Golok, no?
Yeah.
So
Then he upgraded,
his
no?
journey from all the planets to Golok.
And then from there also he upgraded, no? In Goloka also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there
So
is a path in Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada explains. I will figure out. No, I will now
no,
research.
there is a partner. You can upgrade your, you can
Yes.
upgrade your rasa.
The whole thing is
You can
about
have in Baldev Vidya Bhushan says in his Govinda Bhashya commentary that a Nitya Siddha devotee can also serve in all the rasas.
right.
He can serve in all the rasas. So
Yes.
not necessarily Prabhupada has to be in Manjari or Sakya Bhav or he can be in all the rasas serving simultaneously.
So
Like Balram serves.
So that's why they don't need. Why would they need to come down to bomber us? And I mean, there is a pastime may be there, and to show us how what they are themselves doing it. And there's another just like
But who told that Prabhupada came down to become sadhana siddha? He was sadhana siddha.
Srila Prabhupada. We are not talking about Srila Prabhupada. We're talking
So I understand Srila Prabhupada is Samasti Guru.
we are not Srila Prabhupada. We understood from last week that he is Nitya Siddha. And he's come down only he descended like an incarnation, Bhakti Shakti incarnation of Lord Chaitanya came with him.
Yeah.
So that we understood. We're talking about the four Goswami.
Actually, it wasn't accepted. That was your position, and you've explained and said things like that. But I'm one of those people who, of course, for me personally, this is what I, let's say, believe. It's nothing, of course, no realization. But what I believe and understand, Prabhupada come from the spiritual world. But as far as philosophical, scientific explanation of Prabhupada being a Nitya Siddha does come down and not something else or whatever. Personally, I didn't get a clear answer on this. And that's why the topic is continuing to be churned. Okay, what is a Nitya Siddha? So now we're going into, are there different kinds of Nitya Siddhas and this and that and that? That's why we're going into it. So yeah, it was not clear for me. I mean, it would be nice,
As
unlike
per
the previous
Shastra,
talk.
Balram,
Yeah.
as per Shastra, Srila Prabhupada is Bhakti Devi himself. That is what I'm saying.
No, from which Shastra?
Padma Puran, many other Shastra, where Lord Krishna tells to Bhakti Devi, tells to Narad Muni that Bhakti Devi, will descend in Vrindavan, and from there she will go to the Paschat Desa West and preach Krishna consciousness.
Gauranga
Bhakti Devi
Prabhu,
himself.
can we beg you to do something if you don't mind, when you're free
Yeah.
and when it's suitable? Can
Yeah.
you collect all these quotes
Yeah, I have
that
this. I have the
support that,
quotes.
and
I
then
have the
oh,
quote. I have
wonderful.
this quote.
Then share it with us at one point.
I'll share this quote.
That'll
Where
be
Lord Krishna is directly telling Narad Muni that Bhakti Devi will descend and she will go to Vrindavan, and from there she will go to Western and make and preach Bhakti Kalta and get all the devotees from West to India.
okay.
That
On
is Lord
that,
Krishna himself telling.
Show that.
yeah.
Can you show that?
On
I'll
that,
just send. Let me. After
yeah.
session, I'll just send. In
Okay.
the group.
On that, I want to ask something. Now, you mentioned that you're saying actually Prabhupada is Bhakti Devi, but can it be Bhakti Devi is descended and has descended absolutely the way you just said also, but she's descended and now she's being
See, Prabhu.
enacted by being carried by Prabhupada. It's not that Prabhupada is
Yeah.
Bhakti Devi maybe, but he carries her like devotees. They carry Bhakti Devi, right?
See, if we study all the acharyas, okay.
Yeah.
If we study them, Shankaracharya, all the acharyas,
Yeah.
and if we see their scope of influence, let's study them, and then see Prabhupada's scope of influence. By that, we can understand Prabhupada's position above all the acharyas. Just because of his scope of influence, most of them were limited to South India, North India, India, like that, or particular geography. Now see Prabhupada's scope of influence. Now by logic and understanding, we can understand that Prabhupada is not an ordinary person because his scope of influence, his time of coming, everything Krishna is making it a perfect moment for Prabhupada to descend and spread Krishna consciousness. By this we can understand and see Prabhupada's influence not only on one particular type of people, but all walks of life. From scientists to artists to businessmen to normal mass people to every kind of intellectuals, he influenced and is still influencing even after, he's leaving the planet. So by this, we can understand that Prabhupada's scope of when Mahaprabhu says more Senapati Bhakta, not a small statement. It's Krishna saying my Senapati Bhakta means who is Senapati Bhakta? Senapati Bhakta is the one who is leading the army. What is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's army? Whole devotees, everyone. Prabhupada is leading that. So with that only we can understand Srila Prabhupada's position is not an ordinary position because Senapati, the superintendent, he is the most important person. If he is taken into custody, the battle is lost. So when Mahaprabhu says more Senapati Bhakta for Srila Prabhupada, it has to be someone who is, you know, even above the level of the six
Where is that?
Goswamis.
Where is that statement from? Senapati Bhakta.
More Senapati Bhakta,
Hmm.
Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Can you quote give this quote here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on mobile, so I can't
Okay.
do the things, And also, I'm just come back from the Vrindavan Yatra. Beautiful Yatra. I was busy there.
Oh.
Actually, I have
150
like
people. We took 150 people to Vrindavan this time, so just come
Right.
back to it.
That's it. Balaram
So
Prabhu.
I have a request also, like from Nimai especially, because you're like threading this session about. So it'd be really nice if we have along our talks, even better before the talks, but better after also, is the thread of references that we are following. At least the main references that either we're going to talk about or did talk about, this reference, and anyone else here also. Like now, Gauranga Sundara Prabhu has shared with us some nice, useful information that we can use and we should read and study and churn and come up with it, maybe more questions later. We don't want to leave any stone unturned or any possibility unturned. So just collect a list of quotes or purports that Prabhupada has given or that are in Prabhupada's books or Gaudiya Acharya's books, and please share that with us in the group or in here right now. Better in the WhatsApp group, because this, when it closes, is all gone. But in the WhatsApp group, and each devotee can have a chance to read that and study that.
So this I just put it in the WhatsApp group and I'll put it in the letter. Srila Prabhupada writes this thing. The symptom of Nitya Siddha is that from the beginning of his life he is attached to Krishna and he's never tired of rendering service to Krishna. So we have to know what is what by these symptoms. It's a whole long letter. He explains the whole concept in detail, and this is just the essence where he explaining not just the beginning of life, the whole appearance wise and everything in detail. He's explaining. Maybe we can.
But why don't we read it? Actually, that sounds good.
That sounds good. Okay, hold on. Uh,
Because
June.
right now we're kind of dealing
Letter
with
to
still.
Govinda, June 10, 1969.
Um,
Yes, Prabhu.
Actually, yeah, we can go ahead, but I have one question for Gauranga Prabhu. So, Gauranga Prabhu, you were mentioning about uh, uh, Lord Shiva becoming Gopeshwara, Narada becoming Gopi. So, after the Leela, the pastime, when it ended on the earth, they went back to their positions, right?
No, yeah, eternally serving, na? Narida Gopi, she eternally serving. Gopesh Mahadev eternally serving in that Sarup.
In that Swarup, but
Yeah,
so in that case, so Lord Shiva is also still existing, no?
yeah.
So
That's why I told, na, a Nitya Siddha devotee can serve in many Sarups simultaneously.
mhm. So in
A
that
Nitya
case,
Siddha
it
devotee.
can be considered expansion.
Their expansion, yes, but for that also they have to expand. Not that they just became that. They had to do sadhana for that. They had to do a sadhana for that. Then they became. Lakshmi Devi has yet not become. She's
Like
still doing tapasya.
the when the devotees descend, they don't like descend like we think one we are not there. It's like an expansion
Hmm.
coming. It's like not like so there are trillions, millions of universes of so many universes, and Krishna is going in each universe. And each universe those devotees are expanding in. So it's not like they it's not like the spiritual world is dependent on the material world pastimes. It's like unlimited ways they are pure devotees, just like Tulasi ji. Look,
Oh, sure, Narad Muni in
here
some other Brahmandas could
Tulasi
be
ji is
expanding
here.
into something else also.
Yeah, so she's here, she's there within your house. I mean, millions already. So like that, pure devotees are expanding everywhere. No.
Right.
So in pure, they are already existing in the spiritual world, and if they desire to go to Goloka or like that, they could. But they are desiring, okay, I can go like that. It's not like they have to come down to go up. It's just like it
No,
mind.
Prabhu, there's one difference here.
Yeah,
They can visit Goloka, but to serve in that Sarup, if Narad Muni wants to serve as a Manjari, he can visit and see the pastime. That's fine. Yeah, that's allowed. He can do that. But now he wants to serve. For that, he will have to acquire that Sarup. He can't serve as Narad Muni and Radha Krishna,
that's
in
fine.
the
But
Nikunja. He can't serve that.
why they have to come down to the material world to go?
But that is how it happened. He came, he could have gone there, but he
Well,
came at
because Prabhu,
Vrindavan and
there are
he's doing
trillions of
tapasya here.
universes, no? So only our universe came to go up.
No, but
Hey,
Prabhu, here he came here because the pastimes was happening here. So that is the reason he did
There's only
tapasya
one
here.
universe, no?
And
There
when
are
it got wrapped,
universe
and
going on, no? There are millions of universes. It's not like Krishna is limited to our universe, no?
it's not that like that maybe in other universe there are other devotees. Narad Muni is confined to this Brahmanda.
this
How do we
Brahmanda.
know? How can we speculate? There could be many. We can't limit Krishna to just one pure devotee, Narad Muni also, no?
So
It can be many. So many Brahman, we don't
limit
know about other
expansions.
Brahmandas.
We can't limit the pastimes and expansions. One pastime is happening here,
So
another
that's why Krishna is inconceivable. Simultaneously one and different, na? Achinta Veda Tattva. Achinta Veda, but it can
makes
be here, it can be there,
devotees.
and it can different devotees can be serving in different. We don't know also any of those names. We know about the names of our Brahmanda, the demigods and everyone. We don't know the names in what they are serving there. Who are the demigods in that Brahmanda? We don't know any of those. The pure devotees in those Brahmandas, we don't know. Because if we say that only these particular devotees go to all Brahmandas, then we are just limiting Krishna. Krishna could be,
No one
doing
is
the.
saying, no one is saying that only these devotees. I'm just saying limiting, trying to limit that pure devotees cannot obtain a new Sarupa from from one Swarupa to another without coming down to
The
the pastime.
the example,
That
yeah,
example is
but
they did, but that doesn't mean that they could not do it there.
they can, but we still have the example of they came here and did tapasya.
Yeah, so there is
That
a
example we
pastime.
have.
Yeah.
There's a
So
pastime.
that
So
example we
actually,
have. No, you can we can call it pastime.
Let's go.
Obviously, everything is pastime.
It is
You know,
pastime. Let us go on.
you know.
Let us go on, Prabhu.
That's
It's not well in it. So this is a letter from.
no, wait, Nimai,
Yeah.
Prabhu, no, don't cut him like that. Look, let's just be clear, right? You're trying to establish something because it doesn't fit your logic, and we don't have any references for what you think. That we should just say that for now. And what Gauranga Prabhu is saying is that we have examples of this happening like this. It doesn't mean it's the only way it happens.
yeah. I
So
mean,
yeah, but that's one way, and maybe it happens as Nimai Pandit Prabhu is also saying, but we should find some examples of scriptural evidence showing that, and that's fine. And just on that point, I have a question before I jump in. So right now, do we know who Prabhupada is in the spiritual world? That for me is the key question. You know, we know who he is here and what he's come here. Do we have a name for him and a position and a svarup for him in the
No,
spiritual world for Prabhupada?
Srila Prabhupada did not say it to us or show it to us or even dwell on this subject or entertain this subject. So seeing that example, I don't try to dwell in it.
Okay.
what Srila Prabhupada told was, if I tell you, you'll faint.
That's also
Yeah.
better not to dwell. No, so why?
No, we can dwell on it.
Why? Because he never.
Okay, but at least we can dwell on it. We're not going to come to any conclusion because Prabhupada didn't give us a conclusion.
Then it will be a speculation, no? Because there is
We're
no.
not concluding anything, Nimai Pandit Prabhu. We're just talking.
But Prabhu, Nimai Prabhu,
Yeah.
there is mental speculation, there is philosophical speculation. By
Yeah.
symptoms, by understanding different shastras, coming to a, we can try to come to a conclusion, otherwise, uh, who is your guru in spiritual world? If you don't, find an answer to this question, even in your asakti stage, then you will not, then we are not reaching asakti stage, because at the asakti stage, it is revealed who is your guru and who you are. So before that, this
Prabhu,
understanding aptitude to understand that thing
why
also has
did
to
not
be,
Srila Prabhupada explain then, if it was required?
it was too young, for
So
devotees that time to even talk about those things.
in
2-3 years in
Bhagavatam,
bhakti and everything.
in the
No,
Bhagavatam, and
even all the books were not there that time. But certainly, we've by proper symptoms and what he did, what he accomplished, and his uh, like what I study different acharyas, and I find a continuum, that they are into this Manjari Bhav. But when I study Srila Prabhupada books, I am I get this answer that Prabhupada is capable of giving all the sarups. So he is not in one sarup. That is what my understanding is. Because Prabhupada says, he's talking of all the, like an acharya, he's as if he's ready to give all, even Shantaras, Sakyaras, Dasyaras, Vatsalya, Madhurya. He's capable of giving all the rasas. And that's his purpose, point to that. He's not limiting himself just to Manjari Bhav or Gopi Bhav.
Rangasundar, bro, I have to see this. When you say all these things, now why I like kind of try to take a boat through your statements is I need like
You
statements
have
back each thing up.
what statements? Prabhupada did not speak of say, 5 rasas in his books.
But
What
you're
statement
also
you want?
saying thing without a statement, Nimai. You're saying I don't
But
find it logical. They're there. Why don't they go directly? Don't come to material. Okay, back it up with a scriptural statement.
granted, I will find those statements because when
No.
I'm
What I told is
yeah,
Prabhupada is talking of all the 5 rasas. It's there in his purport. What is there to tell? Not conclude. You see other acharyas, they are predominantly talking of Manjari Sarup or Gopi Sarup.
okay,
But
I will
Prabhupada in his
quote
books talks
yeah.
of all the 5 Sarups.
So that means, but that doesn't mean that Srila Prabhupada has to be in five Swarupa or whatever. Because if I can
Well,
complete
an acharya, when he's speaking,
let me
you
complete
know,
the statement. No, when he is being empowered to be the spiritual master, a bona fide spiritual master, in as representative of Lord Chaitanya, who is giving Madhurya Ras, who is giving all the rasas, that means he will be able to explain through his mercy. He doesn't need to be in any another rasa to not be able to explain that rasa because he is getting the potency from Lord Chaitanya.
That's what I'm saying. Na? He's getting the potency, so he is capable of giving all the rasas.
Right. So we
Why
don't,
limit that out?
that is great. We are not talking about that at all.
Yeah,
We are
so that
talking
is
about
what I'm saying,
what
and
is his
only
Swarupa.
and
Why
o-
do
and
we need
only
to know what is
and
Swarupa?
why I'm coming to this is only a samasti guru can give all the five rasas. Understand? There are
Where
two. There's
Prabhupada
two,
that
Vyasti
he
Guru and there's Samasti Guru. Vyasti Guru is localized, who comes here, and he is capable of giving only one rasa. But then there's Samasti Guru, who is, in Golok Vrindavan, he Sakshat Hari, Tvena Samasta Shastre. That refers to the Samasti Guru who is in Golok, who is capable of giving all the rasas.
Mhm. So can I explain? We were talking about what is the Swarupa of Srila Prabhupada. We don't
Yeah.
need to dwell on it because of that. If all of these you're saying, anyway, why do we need to dwell on his Swarupa then?
There can always be a discussion, why not discuss? Why not,
Yes, I'm
Explain the
interested.
discussion.
why?
I'm interested.
Because
I'm interested to
look,
learn if we know conclusively who Srila Prabhupada is in the spiritual world.
Why?
someday we will have to find the answer before, otherwise how
Because
can
I'm
you
a
become perfect?
because I'm a personalist, and I want to know if it's available, of course, that who Prabhupada is in the spiritual world. Krishna is teaching me who he is. He's teaching me who Yashoda is. He's teaching me who Nanda Maharaj is. All these personalities, I know who they are. So Srila Prabhupada, I consider to be a Goloka Vrindavan resident. So I would like, if he says no, I'm not telling you, that's fine. I'm not going to jump on it. But if we have information as to who Prabhupada is, definitely I would like to know.
So, see, why, what I understand why he didn't do that is because of the way it was. He explains in Nectar of Devotion how the unbona fide gurus, they are giving, like, what is unbona fide Siddha Pranali initiations, and from his guru onwards, they didn't do that. His guru only gave Siddha
No,
Pranali for devotees. The
no,
rest
but
he,
Bhakti Siddhant revealed his Swarup.
yeah, but he didn't give,
Nayan
he
Manjari,
waited after
Bhakti
that.
Vinod.
But he did
Yeah.
not propagate. He didn't initiate Srila Prabhupada and tell him. So that from that,
Plus,
yeah.
there's a book I was just reading, or didn't read, but I think it's mentioned in Prabhupada's books. I can't. Which book is the one that identifies all the personalities? I forgot the name of the book, but
Radha Gandu Deepika.
I think some
Chaitanya,
other name.
Or
Chaitanya,
go or go
Huh?
notice.
Yeah. Say that again.
Gaur Gauranga Deepika.
Go on.
Anyway,
Yeah.
okay. Anyway, there's a book there written by authorized devotees, and it says it identifies, actually, the book is identifying who's who in this leela that's in the Goloka Vrindavan. So identifying someone is not necessarily a bad thing. It seems like it's a good thing and a personalistic thing. So I don't know why we should be against identifying who Prabhupada is if we have the information. Okay, Prabhupada withheld it. That's fine. If it is written somewhere and we find it, it means we can hear it now, or whoever he is. I'm
Pradyumna Prabhu,
yeah.
you were saying something?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. So bro, I was saying that we are discussing something that this can be done or this cannot be done. So just like na nectar of devotion, it is known as the complete science of bhakti yoga summary study. So if it is there, it must be there in Prabhupada have given in that book also. And what we are saying that na, okay, this like standard that there are many pastime in which some extraordinary that devotees do that, but that is not the standard. Just like we say uh, examples na, that are not standard, the exceptions are not standard. So we can say that what Prabhu was Gauranga Prabhu is saying that na, that Gopeshwar Mahadev and all this, there may be some extraordinary, but whatever is a standard that must be given by Srila Prabhupada in some book, so that we can have a standard that of the thing.
But we don't have that as a standard from
But
Prabhupada. That's the
definitely he
point.
would have given it. It's not like we don't have it. Today we don't have it, but let us study. I kind of remember 2 or 3 places, and I will go and research further.
If it was such a standard, everybody, almost most people would know about it.
So
If it's a
it's
standard,
there in
standard.
CC. It's there in CC. The only problem is it is scattered all over CC. Not that one place Prabhupada, because of the different purports Prabhupada has given in CC, also in teaching Lord Chaitanya it is there. Mostly in CC it is there. but it's scattered. Someone will have to just put everything together. Then you can draw a line through that. You know,
So as far as Srila Prabhupada's, okay, let us talk about that. I really feel so hesitant to talk about Srila Prabhupada's Swarupa. And the sense I get from reading Nectar of Devotion, where Srila Prabhupada talks about the way he talks about the Siddha Pranali process, not just because there is a bona fide Siddha Pranali process too. Every time but Srila Prabhupada talks about Siddha Pranali, he talks about the unbona fide method. That means basically he's kind of rejecting it, like offhand. Don't
but
even
Prabhu, there's a slight difference here.
yeah.
Knowing a Sarup does not mean going after Siddha Pranali.
Fine. Let
You
me.
can you, you
I was just
can you, you
I was
can
just
know the
coming.
Sarup and yet also not be
I
attracted to
was
Siddha
just coming.
Pranali.
Very good point. So I was coming to it that there is, very well more than me. There is this in our sampradaya, because this Siddha Pranali process has been the way initiation was being done before, from Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. This was the way, and then when the qualification started reducing, still people were doing the Siddha Pranali, which was making a mockery out of the whole thing. So by the time it came down to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he basically started, Srila Prabhupada writes that how the whole thing had become downtrodden. Like even Srila Prabhupada says that nobody respected Gaudiya Vaishnavas because of these people. They were just play acting. So because of that, that whole thing they are cutting out, trying to understand your Swarupa thing. Like, oh, if one person knows the Swarupa, oh, what about the other person? I also have Swarupa this way. And so that thought starts going in the material mind. In the spiritual mind, that is automatically going to be revealed. So, Nectar of Instruction, Srila Prabhupada writes in the preface that once the senses and the mind are controlled, then all the progress that is required further will be revealed from the heart. That is the process he implemented. Like
Yeah,
so,
two
any
process.
person,
He Prabhupada discarded one process,
yeah,
giving the Siddha Pranali by Guru. The other process, which he was Prabhupada accepted and told is Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabo Noy Shravan Adi Siddha Jite Karo Uday. Mean you chant and your Swarup will be revealed by the chanting. So that is what Prabhupada accepted. That Prabhupada told you follow this process,
internally,
and he discarded the Guru giving the process. Yeah.
exactly. So now, in Nectar Devotion, he clearly writes this thing that when one is following this process, then internally one will be like meditating on Krishna in this, while externally he says one has to follow like a neophyte. Not externally, also one starts doing what the Siddha Pranali people used to do, like do those activities too, to practice. So, because of which there is this whole emphasis from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati in not even trying to figure out externally in these talks and culture and everything what is internal, like that. That whole culture they are kind of removing. That's why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, 4 devotees he gave Siddha Pranali. But that also he stopped. See, and then even Srila Prabhupada was given, Srila Prabhupada never told, not even one thing that he gave me this way, that way, or to any other disciple he gave this way, that way, that he was this person or that person. He totally, the acharyas afterwards, like 100, 150, 20 years, they have totally stopped talking about what was your original Swarupa. So when Srila Prabhupada, when he came here and he wrote in his books, no, like Srila Prabhupada is not, he cannot hide himself. Like we have been discussing, Srila Prabhupada writes that a pure devotee and Krishna, with their symptoms, with their characteristics, they cannot be hidden. But it has to be revealed. It has to be, when one develops more faith, more love, more like closeness, automatically it will become apparent. There is no hiding. Srila Prabhupada is not hiding it. He is not revealing directly, externally revealing it, which makes me understand he doesn't want us to talk about it. So let it reveal internally. It will reveal, and then when close two friends are there, Like you and Balram Prabhu and Gauranga Sundar Prabhu, you are talking, and you are advanced devotee, you are talking, you will automatically know. And when you are talking to each other, that this is what Srila Prabhupada is. But when we are talking in a public forum, we don't, because Srila Prabhupada didn't encourage it. That's why I feel hesitant to talk about this.
Okay, can I ask
Yeah,
one thing before we go
in
on?
this you're correct, that in an open forum, yes, no. But Ishta Goshti between two devotees who want to understand philosophically what Prabhupada is, that is, it is called not called mental speculation, but
Yeah.
by philosophy you try to understand and come to a, in between two friends, two devotees, that can be done. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, very good. That's fine.
And this is not exactly a public forum, actually. This is a very small personal group of people who love Prabhupada and want to understand more about Prabhupada. So if we have books that identify Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Rupa Goswami, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, our grandfather guru, he's identified. So my question now is just not what is Prabhupada's identity, but why isn't Prabhupada's identity revealed?
We just went
Bhaktisiddhanta is. Bhaktivinoda is. Okay, but okay, I still want to ask.
The acharyas in our sampradaya from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati onwards meaning he initiating his disciples, he stopped doing that public discussion.
I'm not talking about Siddha Pranali. That's something else. I'm talking about
counteract that again. Our sampradaya doesn't become like that, the cheap Siddha Pranali. That's why they have stopped going in that direction completely, externally doing it.
okay. It's two different things. Siddha Pranali, I know, is you initiate somebody and tell this somebody, this bhakta or whoever, that this is your sarup. You should act like this, behave like this, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not talking about that. I'm talking about now we have an official accepted book that identifies who Bhaktivinoda Thakur is, who Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is. Okay, now I'm only asking why we don't know who Prabhupada is. He's just the next one in line.
Prabhu, because of that is why I'm saying they are both related. The way, because Srila Prabhupada is showing by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and Srila Prabhupada are showing by example that when that don't dwell on this subject anymore in this sampradaya, that what is the internal swarupa of anybody. So they are showing by example that Srila Prabhupada also, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, when he initiated Srila Prabhupada, he didn't reveal, or even later. That is the reason.
It was Bhakti Siddhanta who revealed Vamsar Thakur's Swarup. He told his Manjari. So he could recognize it. He could right now there is no Nitya Siddha devotee to recognize who Prabhupada is. So it's not revealed to us. That's the simple thing at that.
No. Devotees, so many devotees will know who are coming closer to Srila Prabhupada. They will come to know. He cannot hide himself, no? Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Rupa Goswami says, you can say so many things, but you cannot hide yourself from your pure devotees.
Who gave the identities to Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta? Balaram Prabhu was mentioning about some authorized books, but actually it is not given directly, or it is given directly.
No,
No,
Bhakti
Bhakti
Thakur
Thakur
himself
himself
revealed
revealed
in
in
Bhajan.
Bhajan.
Kamala
Kamala
Manjari.
Manjari. Oh,
Sorry,
Bhaktivinoda
the
Thakur.
sound is really bad. I don't know what happened.
Yes, I think
So who gave that identity? Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned something in Sharanagati, something about his identity or serving as a Manjari, but explicitly, who gave, or did Bhaktivinoda Thakur directly mention that my identity is Kamala Manjari and Bhaktisiddhanta directly?
His gurus, they do that, Prabhu. This was the process in our sampradaya. This was the only way of initiating, was you initiate like that. You tell them this is what you are and you practice it. You meditation, pastimes, all of that is basically to develop that and your swarupa like that. That's the Raganuga method.
So his guru gave him that identity.
That should be assumed. When, where, we don't know, but that was the process.
Just to let Krishna Kishore, these are collected in one of our Acharya's books. If somebody can give the name of that book, correct name.
In Gauranga Desha Deepika, you mean, Prabhu?
Yeah.
I'm really
But
sorry.
it is
I
not
can't
given.
remember the name.
But it is
But
not given
somebody else
the
can.
but it is not given the name
No,
of
Bhakti
the identity of
Thakur
Bhaktivinoda
and
Thakur and
Bhakti Siddhant
Bhaktisiddhanta.
not there in that.
Yeah, so who gave? Like my question,
Bipin
like
Bihari, Bipin Bihari, his Diksha gave him this Kamal Manjari. So this Sudha Pranali when he gave him. Bipin Bihari gave him.
and who gave the identity of Bhaktisiddhanta?
He had two gurus, Gaur Kishore
Yeah.
Babaji and Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So one of them given him. I mean,
Like my question is like why we are that sure that those are the identities, like there is direct evidence that they were giving those.
Gauranga Prabhu,
Yeah.
he's asking how can we be sure that those are the two identities of those acharyas?
Well, they were given by pure devotee and they accepted it. Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself says, I'm Kamal Manjari, and in his Sharanagati, I think, he says Kamal Manjari. He reveals himself. And Nain Manjari also, Bhakti Siddhant reveals, I'm Nain Manjari.
And Srila Prabhupada also said so.
Yeah, yeah,
Not Kamal
yeah,
Panchi, but Manjari, he said.
yeah, yeah. So all acharyas accept it. There's no contradiction in among acharyas that he's who. The only contradiction is, there are few acharyas in that only, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhakti Siddhant, there is no difference in that. They all accept that they are his Kamal Manjari and his Nayan Manjari.
Okay, brother, so could you share that? I don't remember reading from Sharanagati that Bhaktivinoda Thakur directly mentions the name Kamala. Like some Manjari is there and he identifies his seva like that, but I don't remember exactly he saying Kamala, the name Kamala. So if you could share exactly that quote
Yeah,
from
sure, sure.
Sharanagati.
They're in the WhatsApp group. So give me some time.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, because my doubt is that like I don't think reading or something that this name Kamala is directly mentioned, and also Bhakti
I'll send you.
Siddhanta, Najana Manjari. I don't remember like exactly where and who said this is the name of the identity of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Like I know that was the process, Siddha Pranali, but who gave the name? Why we are that sure that those are the names? Because we keep saying that those are the identities of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta, but who gave those names? Or how we can assume those are the names?
Sure, I'll send you references.
Thank you, bro.
Okay, so I mean, this is wonderful discussion, great discussion, and very good contribution from everybody. I love it. Uh, is there anything else on this, or we were going to read, I'm open.
You're gonna
Anybody?
read that letter that you said,
Yeah, that's
June
right.
10th or something.
Yeah, very good memory, Prabhu. So, letter to Mukunda, you want to read, Prabhu? Yeah,
Please.
from your London, or to your London.
Yes, to my London. To Al Mukunda. I'll be 1 hour. So you go ahead. Yeah. Sorry about that. Some devotees are here. Okay. Shall I read the date? Okay, June 9th, 1969,
June 10th.
London. Sorry, yeah. 9th of July stuck in my head, see. June 10th, 1969, London. My dear Mukunda, please accept my blessings. I thank you very much for your letter of June the 3rd, 1969, and I have noted the contents carefully. Regarding Mataji Shyama Devi's temple in Leicester, your version is all right, and I am not very interested to establish a Hindu temple. Perhaps you know from the very beginning I never described my movement as Hindu religion. Religion means the bona fide process by which we understand God, and the first-class religion is that which teaches people to develop love of God. To know or accept the authority of God is one thing, but to love God is another. Generally, people are interested in material comforts, and they make God as the supplying agent. This kind of devotion is not purified. It is contaminated by material desires. But when one is elevated to the position of giving everything to God out of love and affection, that is the first-class position. We are teaching this philosophy in the name of Krishna consciousness, and it is applicable to all sober persons. The Bhagavad principle is that because we can be happy, simply by developing our dormant love for Krishna, this is our first business.
Okay, let's skip one paragraph. Okay.
The answer to your Ishtagoshi questions are as follows. Unless one is a resident of Krishna Loka, one cannot be a spiritual master. Wow. Yeah, that is the first preposition. Is that what they said, or is that what Prabhupada said?
This is what Srila Prabhupada is saying.
I mean, answering back, right?
Yeah, the answer.
Okay. Okay. A
Just like
layman.
we are doing Ishtagoshti. It was discussed before this Ishtagoshti by devotees too.
Right, of course. We got the answer. Rancho says. A layman cannot be a spiritual master. And if he becomes so, then he will simply create disturbance. And who is a liberated person? One who knows Krishna. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, anyone who knows Krishna in truth is immediately liberated. And after quitting the present body, he immediately goes to Krishna. That means, he becomes a resident of Krishna, or is immediately liberated, and after quitting the present body, he immediately goes to Krishna. That means he becomes a resident of Krishna Loka.
Yeah.
As soon as one is liberated, he is immediately a resident of Krishna Loka. And anyone who knows the truth of Krishna can become spiritual master. That is the version of Lord Chaitanya. So to summarize the whole thing, it is to be, sorry, that somebody's written something so I can't see. It is to be understood that a bona fide spiritual master is a resident of Krishna Loka. So this gives us more questions than answers, actually.
Let's read the whole thing and then come back.
Your next question, whether the spiritual master was formerly a conditioned soul. Actually, a bona fide spiritual master is never a conditioned soul. There are three kinds of liberated persons. They are called 1, Sadhana Siddhi, 2, Kripa Siddhi, 3, Nitya Siddha. Sadhana Siddha means one who has attained perfection by executing the regulative principles of devotional service. Kripa Siddha means one who has attained perfection by the special mercy of Krishna and the spiritual master. And Nitya Siddha means one who was never contaminated. The symptoms of Nitya Siddha is that from the beginning of his life, he is attached to Krishna. And he is never tired of rendering service to Krishna. So we have to know what is what by these symptoms. But when one is actually on the Siddha platform, there is no such distinction as to who is Siddhan, Sadhan, Kripa, or Nitya Siddha. Okay. When one is Siddha, there is no distinction what is what. Just like when the river water glides down to the Atlantic Ocean, nobody can distinguish which portion was the Hudson River or some other river. Neither is there any necessity to make such distinction. Actually, every living entity is eternally uncontaminated, although he may be in the material touch. That is the version of the Vedas. Asanga ayam purusha. The living entity is uncontaminated. Just like when there is a drop of oil in water, you can immediately distinguish the oil from the water, and the water never mixes with the oil. Similarly, a living entity, although in material contact, is always distinct from the matter. You are correct when you say that when the spiritual master speaks, it should be taken that Krishna is speaking. That is a fact. A spiritual master must be liberated. It does not matter if he has come from Krishna Loka or he is liberated from here, but he must be liberated. The science of how one is liberated is explained above. But when one is liberated, there is no need of distinction whether he has come directly from Krishna Loka or from the material world. But in the broader sense, everyone comes from Krishna Loka. When one forgets Krishna, he is conditioned. When one remembers Krishna, he is liberated. I hope this will clear up these points. I hope this will meet you in good health. P.S. I am very anxious to hear from Janaki why she does not recommend.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Huh?
this opens up more questions than answers, actually.
Yeah, Prabhupada says in the end, no, everyone comes from Krishna Loka.
Exactly. Oh, how
And
is
I have
that?
put, like I told you, Shantaras, they upgrade. That is what it is. Like I've put the Kamal Manjari reference in the group also and also in the WhatsApp. I have
Thank you.
also put the, Mora Senapati Bhakta reference from Chaitanya Mangal and also put Prabhupada's Bhakti, Bhakti Devi talking to Narad Muni from Padma Puran. That I've put. So all these three references I've put. Bhakti Siddhant, I'll just put in few times, 2 minutes. That also I'll put, don't worry. Yeah, I'll put that also, don't worry. See, you can see Kamal Manjari is there. You told it's not there in Siddhalalsa. It is there in Siddhalalsa, Kamal Manjari. In the shloka, it is there. So,
Balram Prabhu, thank you, Gauranga Sundar Prabhu. We are going to go through that. And Balram Prabhu, you have any points you want to discuss here with this?
Lots.
Yeah,
Many.
wonderful. Let's do that then.
I mean, first is obviously what does Prabhupada mean here by Krishna Loka?
Prabhu, like I told, no one falls from Krishna Loka in the middle because you're in Shantaras.
Are we saying
If you,
Krishna Loka is Vaikuntha? Is that what it means here?
yeah,
Or is Krishna Loka specifically the planet where Krishna is there in two hands, flute, and his Vrindavan Leela? That
Vaikuntha Loka.
is Vaikuntha. Okay, good. Okay, so yes, everybody's from there. Okay, and then next question, what does liberated mean? Because as I've heard this word being used so widely, liberated, there's different kinds of liberation.
So liberation is liberated, like from the body, bodies, subtle and gross.
So Buddhists are liberated, Mayavadis, those who believe in one, it's all one, are liberated. Bhaktas are
If they
liberated.
reach the Brahman platform, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what liberated means, of course.
Yeah. So,
To
but
reach the Brahman.
that is the Shunyavad. Yeah. Shunyavadis don't get liberated, no.
Yeah, they do, of course. They're off those who come, we're talking about the highest platform, they're off the bodily platform. They don't want a relationship with Krishna, but they're off the bodily platform. So they
I've
achieve.
never heard Buddhist people.
but Buddhists have no concept of soul, no?
Yeah, so they don't reach.
Yeah, but
Buddhist,
that's what Brahman is, no concept of soul. Soul means self.
they don't know Brahman.
They don't need to know Brahman because they
are not aiming for Brahman also.
of course not. No, okay. So when they become perfect, they're off the bodily platform. They become off the bodily platform. Factually, they're souls, but they themselves don't accept their soul. So where do they go? They go they form Brahman. They form Brahman. They're just there with no relationship, nothing.
I've never heard. Maybe someone can correct me. Someone can find another reference.
I'll find, because I read where Prabhupada saying Buddhists achieve Brahman, Brahmajyoti.
Okay,
So
fine.
that would be my homework.
Show me. Yeah. So as far as this liberation goes, this is Jivan Mukta also, which is while we are living, one can also be liberated. But then he says, after quitting the present body, he goes to Krishna. That means he becomes a resident of Krishna Loka. That is Narad Muni's position. He quit, he died, meaning that body died. He got a new body, spiritual body. It describes that directly that he got a body suitable for an associate of Krishna, which is Samipyam. What is that? Sa Sa
Rupia.
Samipya, Sarupya, Salup.
right, Sarupya, Sarupya, or whichever way. So he got that kind of a body. So this liberation, when he's talking about, this is that. Balram Prabhu, you're still there?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
So I closed the video because devotees gave me prasadam.
What is it?
Nice prasadam.
Tapas. Okay, shall we go over then? Finish this thing?
No, there was more. Now if you like, I think we could just read it. Maybe somebody else wants to read it, and just we stop at any time somebody wants to say stop to clarify something.
Pradyumna Prabhu, you have something? You want to do this?
I was saying, what it's just like na, it is not clear, or it is achintya, like that. When we are liberated, then it doesn't matter. Then it is what we call that nitya, because once we are liberated, then everybody is nitya siddha. So and the time when we are also in condition also, so it is something like achintya to understand this thing very clearly. So we have to take what is that mentioned, like in this wonderful letter. So it's difficult to ascertain. Prabhupada saying that once one is liberated, then there is what is written, that it is there is no distinction at what is what, like that.
Just like the Hudson River.
Yeah.
This is right here.
There is no necessity, yeah. Neither is there any necessity to make any such distinction, like. So it is also something like achintya, how that we are ever liberated, and once we are conditioned also.
But obviously here, Prabhupada is talking about these siddhas being bhaktas. When you're on the bhakti level, relationship with Krishna in any one of his forms, that's when you don't distinguish. But when we're talking about Mayavadis or Buddhists becoming liberated, and of course we distinguish, we don't particularly want to associate with them or hear from them.
This liberation is not what we are talking about here. These are not
exactly. That's why we have to understand, what does this liberation mean?
This liberation is not the Sayujya Mukti, but the other four Muktis. Those are those four Muktis. So, Krishna Kishore Prabhu, you wanted to say something, please?
No, I just wanted to say, because there in the letter, Prabhupada says that there is no distinction. I think is the word that he was using in that letter. There is no distinction between them, but still, like, I would like to understand more about the nature of those Nitya Siddhas, because by what I was reading when this started, in the 10th canto, Srila Prabhupada says that Yashoda, Mother Yashoda, is a Nitya Siddha devotee. So he is referring as Nitya Siddha devotee. And Prabhupada says, an expansion of Krishna's Hladini potency, his potency to enjoy transcendental bliss through expansions who are special devotees. So my initial question, when this session started, was that like those, yes, Prabhu?
You post? Please.
The quote from Mother Yashoda?
Yes.
Okay, Prabhu. So
WhatsApp and post.
Okay, Prabhu. So I'm posting here. Just 1 second. About 10.920. So this is the exact quote, bro. So she's therefore a Nitya Siddha devotee, an expansion of Krishna's Hladini potency, his potency to enjoy transcendental bliss through expansions who are special devotees. So I wanted to understand more of the nature of those Nitya Siddhas like living entities, because it seems that there are different types of Nitya Siddhas. So we are Tatasta Shakti that I was asking, but those other living entities, Nitya Siddhas, what are they? They are Vishnu Tattvas, Jiva Tattva, but not Tatasta Shakti, because I don't think that Mother Yashoda has the tendency to become conditioned.
Yeah, there
They
seems like
never have
uh,
that tendency to come to the material world.
seems like Krishna, when he wants to enjoy with that past with that verse from Brahma Samhita, 37th verse, Anand Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabi, that when he wants to enjoy, he expands. So he is expanding with to those Nitya Siddhas, he is expanding with his Ladini potency, with the, like we were just discussing, Shakti Avesh Avatar, like Krishna is expanding with the Bhakti Shakti or any other Shakti. In this case, Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Shakti. So similarly, with Mother Yashoda, to Krishna to expand his pleasure with her, he is expanding the Hladini potency with her, and then basically for that enjoyment, so she never falls down. So
So
therefore,
it is not that Krishna expands as Mother Yashoda, but he expands his Hladini potency into Mother Yashoda.
yes. Just like potency is just a potency, then the soul is soul. No? So a potency mixed with the soul is and develops another. Like I was telling, Jiva Tattva plus, no, like that.
Okay, so Mother Yashoda Jiva Tattva, but plus Hladini potency. So, but it's still Mother Yashoda is Tatasta Shakti.
Yes,
Okay.
but she will never fall because of the just what Srila Prabhupada explained here. Gauranga Sundar Prabhu, you have anything to share on that? Are we thinking correctly? I think he's busy reading Acharya's books. So, okay. Anything else? Any other points in this? It's very good,
Yeah,
Krishna. Yeah.
yeah, Prabhu, we should just like na Prabhu was quoting Padma Puran and other books. So how should we take them as a reference or just like na we when we are discussing something? So how to see these books like Padma Puran or other Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya's previous books, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Mangal, many things.
So, very good point. Let us discuss this in detail, or maybe we have to. But how I have begun to see over the years is that Srila Prabhupada cannot, and he will not stop us from reading Acharya's books and other scriptures. These are all given by our great Acharyas, Vyasadeva and onwards. But he is bringing all those Acharyas with him, and whatever is required, is giving in his books. So, and just yesterday, I was reading, and Srila Prabhupada was saying, that is why I don't want that is why Lord Chaitanya says Bahu, uh, like Shastra, like that is a verse that don't read too many scriptures, just whatever scriptures are there, you read them very well. Like he was talking about just each and every words, knowing, understanding, like that he was talking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming from what is why is he coming? And he's the Samam Bomam of Lord Chaitanya and Srimati Radharani. So he says you can't even understand that. What is the point of reading other books? So in that context, he was saying, but that is his common refrain all throughout that. Um, what is the point of reading other acharyas books when you have not even read what I have written? Because he has already given the essence and also the applicability and how to understand it and all these right things from those acharyas. He quotes them all the time. It's not that they are missing in his books. So And there are many instances where Srila Prabhupada writes, even one devotee was saying, your understanding that if I had written only one book, the Bhagavad Gita, you would be satisfied with that book. That is the correct understanding. But in his Bhagavad Gita, in his Bhagavatam purports, in Chaitanya Charitamrita purports, many places he refers. Go, if somebody wants to read this, he can go and read that. Sometimes he quotes, sometimes he doesn't even quote, just gives a reference. So that means he is asking us to go and read. But to whom? One who has completed the understanding of his books. So all these other references are for devotees who are, let us say, maybe jnani, one side, because knowledge gathering, that is also a way to dovetail one's tendency in devotional service. Or genuinely, they have reached a stage where they are wanting to taste more, you know.
Yeah. Prabhu, just like in starting, na, when we were establishing the principles for Guru Tattva, at that time one point was there, na, just like Prabhupada has given many references, just like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying like this, Srila Jeev Goswami, and he's, he's saying many references. So at that time we are then, because whatever is required, Srila Prabhupada is already given in the book.
Yeah.
That is also one point.
That's the main point. That's the main point. But it's a overall, not like somebody is reading other books and you say why you're reading, not like that, but because it's a whole complete understanding is like this, that some devotees would read, and Srila Prabhupada has given those instances to read. And but most devotees are told don't read. And there will be two reasons why devotees will read other books, even though Srila Prabhupada is happy if somebody doesn't want to go and just focuses on his own books. And the next point with that is, let's say, on when we are trying to set up Siddhanta, like Siddhanta of our Sampradaya, like Guru Tattva, for that specifically, we made a point that let's not go to other Acharya's books, because then there is no end. Srila Prabhupada is our spiritual master. He has already, and with all these, like I was working on this article called "Why Srila Prabhupada's Commentary is Enough for Siddhanta," and all these things, Shakti being Shaktive Shavtar, and Chaitanya Charitamrita translation being Chaitanya Charitamrita already being the samambhava of all the Siddhanta, being already explained in it, and then Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas, they're translating Chaitanya Charitamrita in particular, and he's translating it. That means his commentary of Chaitanya Charitamrita onwards, that has all the Siddhanta. So that's why we don't need to go. But for details, like we are talking about, like what Gauranga Sundar Prabhu, we asked him reference from Padma Puran about Srila Prabhupada. This, we are not talking about Siddhanta. Siddhanta we are establishing from Srila Prabhupada's books. But for other little points, if he has the tendency, either because of jnani or he has already reached a stage of Krishna consciousness where he is finding pleasure, we cannot comment on that part. So it's good that he has those references, so we ask him instead of us going there and researching everything.
No, basically, I feel why Prabhupada told not to go, because there were many people who were translating, because most of these books are in Bengali. So devotees who are not really bona fide, they translate it, and many times they miss the philosophical point. So when it's philosophy, one should avoid. That's what I understand. But when you have to understand history and reference that, then you can go to those books, because history, not philosophy. So by that you can understand, through there also some history you can understand, so that you can make your own judgment, based on that. So then you can read those books. But philosophically point, like, there are many philosophical points, jiva fall down, not fall down. Different acharyas speak differently. So, and people who translate them also completely, sometimes, they take position opposite of Prabhupada in that also. So that creates a havoc in disciples' life, when he sees so many contradictory, things written about, and he can't make up his mind. So it creates a havoc in his life. So if you're not philosophically sound, then you should avoid, because you won't be able to grasp what you need to take from it, and you'll get caught up or confused in the khichdi of so many different things. Like you can't take out what is required for you, and you'll be totally confused, and your bhakti will suffer in that sense. But if you can really take out the good things which matches Prabhupada philosophically, then you can take out that and use it as a supporting evidence to Srila Prabhupada's point. That way you can do it.
Thank you, Prabhu.
One more point, just like no, many times we have heard this quote of Srila Prabhupada, maybe in what reference you can tell me, that I have given everything in my books. I have given everything in my books. Like if we read again and again, if we read again and again, then we can understand that I have given everything in my books. So if we read again, churn it again, then we get all the things. That is also one. So how to understand that?
Yeah, but in Prabhupada books only, Prabhupada is quoting all the acharyas also, no? Different books. So he's given everything from that acharyas also he's quoting. Like he's quoting Sandarbhas in CC, he's quoting Sri Thakur, Baldev Vidyabhushan. He's quoting everyone. So it is there in his books only, all these things.
Do we need to discuss this point further? Any devotee has anything further to say on this particular point of other books? Okay, seems like everyone is in agreement. Let's keep going with the Mukunda letter. Balaram Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did we stop? Okay. Master is never a condition. Your next question, whether the spiritual master was formerly conditioned soul. Actually, a bona fide spiritual master is never a conditioned soul. There are three kinds of liberated persons. They are called Sadhana Siddhi, Kripa Siddhi, and Nitya Siddhi. Sadhana Siddha means one who has attained perfection by executing the regulative principles of devotional service. Kripa Siddha means one who has attained perfection by the special mercy of Krishna and the spiritual master. And Nitya Siddha means one who was never contaminated. The symptoms of Nitya Siddha is that from the very beginning of life, he is attached to Krishna and he is never tired of rendering service to Krishna. So we have to know what is what by these symptoms. But when one is actually on the Siddha platform, there is no distinction as to who is Sadhan, Kripa, or Nitya Siddha. When one is Siddha, there is no distinction what is what. Just like when the river water glides down the Atlantic Ocean, nobody can distinguish which portion was the Hudson River or some other river. Neither is there any necessity to make any such distinction. Actually, every living entity is eternally uncontaminated. Although he may be in material touch, this is the version. I can't see anymore, Nimai Prabhu.
Okay. You want to continue reading this thing, or you have any points to discuss or something?
No, nothing for me.
Okay, so that's what we've already finished reading that now. We already did the reading before of that.
Yeah, I know. You asked me to read it again, so I was reading.
No.
I didn't understand.
You if you had any other, sorry.
No.
Any other points to discuss on it?
No, anyway, I thought there may be more from the June 10th letter, but I'm also thinking, I don't know what time you finished last week because I had to go, but should we put a time limit like 7 o'clock?
We go for 2 hours.
Yeah. So then we got 19 minutes more.
Yeah. So good. So we are trying to discuss the whether Srila Prabhupada is Nitya Siddha or not. So from this, see here he is talking about symptom of Nitya Siddha is that from the beginning of his life, he is attached to Krishna. He is never tired of rendering service. So we have to know is what by these symptoms. So this is why I went to Parikshit Maharaj's pastime in this purport. This is from 2.3. Canto 2, Chapter 3, verse 15. Somebody would like to read this? Here Srila Prabhupada goes in detail about Nitya Siddha and Mahabhagavad and himself and everything from the beginning of his life. Would somebody like to read this?
Rajivana Prabhu, you want to read? Or should I?
I can read down.
Go ahead.
Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharatha Bala Kridan Kai Kridan Krishna Kridam Ya Adade. Trans. You want me to read synonyms?
Yeah,
Saha,
yeah.
he, Saha, he, Vai, certainly, Bhagavata, a great devotee of the Lord, Raja, Maharaja Parikshit, Pandaveya, grandsons of the Pandavas, Maharatha, a great fighter, Bala, while a child, Kridanke, with play dolls, Kridan, playing, Krishna, Lord Krishna, Kridam, activities, Yah, who, Adade, accepted. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj Parikshit, the grandson of the Pandavas, was from his very childhood a great devotee of the Lord. Even while playing with dolls, he used to worship Lord Krishna by imitating the worship of the family deity. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. In the Bhagavad Gita 6:41, it is stated that even a person who has failed in the proper discharge of yoga practice is given a chance to take birth in the house of devout brahmanas or in the house of rich men like kshatriyas, king, or rich merchants. But Maharaj Parikshit was more than that because he had been a great devotee of the Lord since his previous birth, and as such, he took his birth in an imperial family of the Kurus, and especially that of the Pandavas. So, from the very beginning of his childhood, he had chance the intim- to know intimately the devotional service of Lord Krishna in his own family. The Pandavas, all being devotees of the Lord, certainly venerated family deities in the royal place for worship. Children who appear in such families fortunately generally imitate such worship of the deities, even in the childhood play. By the grace of Lord Shri Krishna, we had the chance of being born in a Vaishnava family. And in our childhood, we imitated the worship of Lord Krishna by imitating our father. Our father encouraged us to, in all respect, to observe all functions such as the Rath Yatra and the Dola Yatra ceremonies. And he used to spend money liberally for distributing prasadam to us children and our friends. Our spiritual master, who also took his birth in a Vaishnava family, got all inspiration from his great Vaishnava father, Thakur Bhakti Vinoda. This was the way of all lucky Vaishnava families. The, cele-
Sorry.
and the celebrated Mirabai was staunch devotee of Lord Krishna as the great lifter of Govardhana Hill. The history of many such devotees is among the same because there is always symmetry between the early lives of all great devotees of the Lord. According to Jiva Goswami, Maharaj Parikshit must have heard about the childhood pastimes of Lord Krishna at Vrindavana, for he used to imitate the pastimes with his young playmates. According to Sridhar Swami, Maharaj Parikshit used to imitate the worship of the family deity by elderly members. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti also confirms the viewpoint of Jiva Goswami. So, accepting either of them, Maharaj Parikshit was naturally inclined to Lord Krishna from his very childhood. He might have imitated either of the above mentioned activities and All of them established his great devotion from his very childhood, a symptom of Mahabhagavata. Such Mahabhagavatas are called Nitya Siddha, or souls liberated from birth. But there are also others who may not be liberated from birth, but who develop a tendency for devotional service by association, and they are called sadhana siddhas. There is no difference between the two in the ultimate issue, and so the conclusion is that everyone can become sadhana siddha, a devotee of the Lord, simply by the association with the pure devotees. The concrete example is our great spiritual master Sri Narada Muni. In his previous life, he was simply a boy of a maid servant, but through association with great devotees, he became a devotee of the Lord of his own standard, unique in the history of devotional service. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Can you please explain what did you get from this, Prabhu?
Yeah, so Srila Prabhupada, okay, so I think the context where it is being mentioned is how Maharaj Parikshit is Mahabhagavata from his childhood. He was uh, worshipping Lord Krishna by imitating the elders in the family, and he was very fortunate to take birth in the family of Pandavas. So same way, Prabhupada is also establishing that he himself and his spiritual master both had a, both were very fortunate, and or by the grace of Krishna they had gotten a chance that they took birth in a Vaishnava family, and they they were by birth inclined to worship the Lord by imitating their parents or the elders in the house. And here Prabhupada is also mentioning that that his father was actually encouraging. He was spending money to for him to perform all these ceremonies or festivals, even in a playful manner. And he's also, I think, one point he also mentioned about Mirabai, because Mirabai also, he got the love for the Lord from very his childhood itself. She became, yes. Um, so he's 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 mentioning, and later he's also mentioning about the Nitya Siddha and Sadhana Siddha. So so I'm sorry, my power. Okay. So ultimately, he's saying actually there is no difference between the sadhana siddha and the nitya siddha, and he's giving an example. So I think in one of the previous session, which I didn't join, but I was hearing on the recorded video, that the question was raised about Narad Muni also. So here it is very clear actually that even though Narad Muni, he he was mentioned as a sadhana siddha devotee here, right? Yes, he's considered as a sadhana siddha, but later once uh, his swarupa is revealed, or then he is considered as a nitya. Actually, it is not mentioned here. He is considered as a nitya siddha, but this
In the
place.
sixth chapter of the first canto,
Mhm.
thing is explained, where he took a body of a spiritual body after death. So that previous life was over. He
Mhm.
died. That
Yes.
the new body which he got because of being thinking of being absorbed at Krishna at death,
Mhm.
that was a transcendental body fit for being a resident of or associating with the Lord. So
Mhm.
that's how it is explained in the sixth chapter. Last week we went through that.
Okay, so maybe I have not heard about that in the recordings yet. But he is not mentioned here as a Nitya Siddha, but but he Prabhupada also mentioned that there is no difference between uh, Nitya Siddhas and Sadhana Siddhas.
Once they attain, yeah. So why I was bringing this up is because of we're talking about why is Srila Prabhupada considered Nitya Siddha. So here he is in the
He is a Mahabhagavata, right? Because from the very birth he is.
all of these can apply to any devotee children, all the devotees' children. But then he distinguishes that and starts talking about Mahabhagavats and Nitya Siddhas. And he gives a symptom of a Nitya Siddha.
So means I'm just trying to be a little more logical and
Yeah.
here. So there are many devotees in Krishna conscious who have taken birth, but they didn't become a devotee. From their birth, they were given full opportunity.
Yeah.
Even we see in the life of Srila Prabhupada's kids also. I
So
don't know much
they were
about them
not
though,
liberated
but
from birth, no?
huh?
They were not liberated from birth. They are great devotees, but not liberated from birth. Not fully, like not Siddhas, no? So they are, see, 641 is saying this. I see. Someone who has not been able to perfect, right? After
Yes.
many years of
Yeah.
enjoyment. And then after short enjoyment, let's do that. The second one is,
So
or
will they get another opportunity again?
next verse is this, these devotees. Birth in a family of yogis or transcendentalists
Right.
is praised herein because a child born in such a family receives spiritual impetus from the very beginning of his life, especially the case in Acharya Goswami families. So it goes on. And then in this same thing, Srila Prabhupada also comments about Srila Bhaktivinoda Saraswati and himself.
Right.
But out of even those families, some people are Mahabhagavats, which he describes in this verse, in this Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj was Mahabhagavat. Similarly, he's talking about himself too. Balaram Prabhu, you had some point?
It's kind of been covered. I think I was just going to say that right now we have devotees taking birth in Vaishnava families, devotee families, and immediately we see they imitate and they copy and they get excited and they happy and they dance and blah blah blah. So at this stage, actually, we have no way to understand if these are Nitya Siddhas until later on we see do they continue to be tirelessly not tirelessly, without being tired, engaged in. And is this why? Because it seems like Prabhupada's given us a clue. He said to us, these kids, you should take care, it's more important to take care of them than worshiping a deity. They are not normal beings.
Looks like, no? Because they're already great devotees. Where does he say Nitya Siddha? 1 second. Oh, it was in Mukunda's thing. So the symptom of a Nitya Siddha is that from the beginning of his life is attached to Krishna and he's never tired of rendering service to Krishna. Even as you're rightly saying, further ahead in the life.
Yeah, because I know kids that were born and they're still fully engaged in Krishna service, seemingly not being tired. So is that a Nitya Siddha? It kind of seems obviously not, because we see by other symptoms, but it seems like these two sentences are very general. It's not really specific enough.
Connect it with all the other activities of Nitya Siddha also, pure devotee also. But this is one symptom can be seen. Like at least a spiritual master has to be a resident of Goloka who has descended. He says one cannot be a spiritual master unless one is resident of Krishna Loka.
No, but later on he says that anybody who is fully engaged, even within this material, is liberated, and therefore he's classified as a resident of Krishna Loka.
Understood. Yeah. Yes. This is right. One can become a spiritual master, can be from both sadhana siddha and also nitya siddha. That's fine. But Shaktive Shavtar cannot be. Avatar is descending.
We haven't cleared that also.
I mean,
we
avatar
have just we have only the argument that avatar means descending.
That's a big argument, no?
No, because some of us, at least two devotees, me being one of them, said that what is descending is the shakti, the avesh, the part of Krishna by which he's empowering that devotee. That is descending. So, you know,
What? Like in the air descending, or is Nara and Narayan, no? Krishna is coming with this always with devotees, no? He just doesn't come alone, no? So he's descending with that devotee, no?
Yeah, so when we say Prabhupada is a Shaktive Shavtar, there is Prabhupada, the personality, and there's also Krishna's potency, partial part of Krishna's potency, which is, let's say, impregnated or transferred into Prabhupada, that's given him the power and the potency to do that. Therefore, that the potency or the Shakti of Krishna has come from, you know, we say avatar, descend. Yeah.
To understand that, I tried to read that whole pastime Nar Narayan a while back. So it'll be nice if you can all read Nar Narayan pastime where Krishna and it is described, and then in purport Srila Prabhupada explains this whole point.
What point?
The Sattva Prabhu, you want to say something?
No problem.
About this point about how Nar and Narayan always come together. They're always eternally together. So when Shakti Avesh Avatar is coming, it is Krishna and the pure devotee coming together. You can't just say Krishna never without his devotees. He's always coming. So this is one incarnation of Krishna. This is how he is deciding to come with this form of
You're completely lost me.
you know Nar Narayan pastime, no?
Well, let's say Prabhupada. Prabhupada we're classifying as a Shaktive Shavtar, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're saying because his avatar, this title is given to him as avatar, it means that Prabhupada himself is coming from the spiritual world into the material world. Therefore we call him Shaktive Shavtar.
Yeah,
right?
both. Yeah, Nara and Narayan, exactly like that. It is this form of Narayan.
Yes.
This way of Narayan.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And me one and maybe another devotee was saying, but there could be a conditioned soul, Nimai Pandit Prabhu here in New York City. And then Krishna says, I want to give Nimai my extra potency so that he can do some extra things, you know. It doesn't matter what level of extra. And he said, huh?
That is Vibhuti.
Yeah, that's what you, exactly. Yeah, that's what you said. But anyway, as I said, maybe we wrote it that if we can find out any information where there is a conditioned soul within the material world that has been given that potency and being called a Shakti Avatar, if we can find something like that, it'll be good.
Just the name itself is not like avatar, and from conditioned soul, it just doesn't.
Perfect for me. But let's see. Like I said, let's leave that out there and see if we can dig out any information.
Ahmed, we were talking about it. He is only his followers say he didn't it is written like that. His followers are writing.
Yeah, but you don't know for sure, and I don't know. We're speculating about Prophet Muhammad.
No, not at all speculation. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati says he is a Shakti Avesh Avatar. So
yeah, I know.
Like that, he is Avatar. He is descended.
Yes. No. That's what I'm saying. That's what the argument is, that you say because Avatar is given, that means he came from the spiritual world.
Not I say. Srila Prabhupada says again and again, no.
Okay. Anyway, just let's leave it. Okay. If any devotees come out there with this information, conditioned soul being empowered by Krishna and given this name Shaktive Shavtar, I would love to hear it.
Okay.
Quick question, Prabhu. So just now, I think you said Muhammad was Shaktive Shavtar, and it was
Yeah.
mentioned.
No.
Can
Yeah,
you
see,
please
we
elaborate, Prabhu?
have quotes directly from the Prabhupada. The Prabhupada says, Bhakti Siddhanta, at least, maybe Bhakti Thakur also, he said that Prophet Muhammad and Jesus are Shaktive Shavtar, and Prabhupada himself confirmed it. So now the question is, with these two examples, were they conditioned souls being given extra power to preach in this material, or did they themselves, Prophet Muhammad and Jesus, come from Vaikuntha planets to preach this message? That's the question. But them being Shaktive Shavtars, definitely Prabhupada used this. I can send you the quotes.
That we have done that earlier too, but here it is.
And we also, I think it was also mentioned just before that Prabhupada is also considered as a Shaktive Shavtar.
Yeah.
So
That
how
event,
was that discussed also, Prabhu? This particular.
that's why I wanted you to go through that previous one. Please do that. It's
Sure, Prabhu.
so this like here he's mentioning. So what is the symptom? Symptom is that eternal and temporary. So avatar incarnations comes to glorify the eternal existence of the Supreme Lord. So an avatar, an incarnation, he comes to glorify that there is spiritual kingdom, there is God, and I have come to reclaim you back to Godhead, back to home. This is a symptom. So therefore, by that symptom, we accept Lord Jesus Christ as Shaktive Shavtar or Hazrat Muhammad. He is also, because these two religious leaders of the world, they preached about the glorification of the Supreme Lord, and they sacrificed everything for preaching the glories of the Lord. Therefore, and their influence and their followers, these are the symptoms by which they are meaning all over, for which we can understand Jesus Christ and Hazrat Muhammad were Shaktivesh avatars. Buddha is also Shaktivesh avatar.
Prabhu, that I have heard that Lord Buddha he went 21 times back to his wife, no? Something like so. That is also part of his Leela or what you call pastime.
Which one? Lord Buddha?
Yeah, Lord Buddha after taking sannyas, he went many times back to his wife. No? Somebody quoted some devotee. I don't know.
I think so. I don't know if that is. I've never
Yeah,
heard.
Dayalu Prabhu, Dayalu once quoted.
Maybe, but I never heard that in Bhagavatam and Chaitanya. Nowhere we have. It says that he just renounced, and then he never.
Yeah, and Prabhu, one more question. Just like many personalities, just like five Pandavas and Kunti Maharani, they are in this material world only. They are these personalities are not there in spiritual world.
The personalities are there, but in this form they are not there. That pastime, because all of these devotees are all residents of of Goloka or Vaikuntha Loka, wherever. But they have expanded in this particular, manifested this particular pastime, which is not there in the spiritual world in Vrindavan.
Okay. And when we were discussing last time that Narad
But
Muni,
Prabhu, sorry,
Yes,
I think somewhere I read in books, in Prabhupada books, that they always remain in the material world and assist the Lord in various pastimes. I think I have read it in Bhagavatam itself, Prabhu.
oh, but that doesn't see pure devotee, always expand so many. Like Tulasi ji, how many expansions she has? Not limited, no. So, like Maharani Kunti, she always remains, meaning the personality in the spiritual world, the Goloka personality, that personality has expanded in this way to serve the Lord in this pastime, and she is always in this form. In this form, she is always here. This particular form, she doesn't, but she's already living also. She's giving another pastime with the Lord. It's liberation meaning unlimited, no? You can, with Krishna's mercy, Srila Prabhupada explains, by Krishna's mercy, Tulsi ji has expanded in innumerable forms. Like that, pure devotees can expand everywhere.
No, but Prabhu, Vrinda Devi or Tulsi Devi, we have a pastime that she descended from spiritual world to this material world, and she's a resident. We sing also, right? Vrindavanvasi. So she is actually mentioned that they are part of, or she's a resident of Vrindavan. But nowhere we have read that uh, Pandavas are residents of Goloka Vrindavan.
Not in this
They may be eligible
farm.
and they are pure devotees. No denying that.
But
But
not in the Pandava farm, they are not there. This particular pastime, see, there is like all the devotees in the who are coming in, we know there are three sets of gopis who are coming. Srila Prabhupada explains one is coming from Goloka, one is coming from the material world to be further trained, who are already perfected, and the third were the Dandakaranya forest sages.
Mhm.
These were the three gopis thing. And then similarly the yadus also, there were some from his personal associates, and then there were some from the heavenly planets also. So the personal the so as a yadu form, they don't exist in the, I mean, they may be existing, yes, they would be existing in the Dwarka pastime. But so Kunti ji, why cannot she exist in the Mathura pastime of Vaikuntha Loka? Yes, Prabhu, Krishna Kishore Prabhu.
Yes, bro. So what about the associates of Lord Chaitanya? Because so far I know, like Goloka Vrindavan is divided into Goloka and Navadvipa. So
Yeah.
we see that Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari in Krishna Loka, but he's also an direct associate of Lord Chaitanya in the Navadvip Lila. So so he also exists as Rupa Goswami in the other half of Krishna Loka known as Navadvipa. So he's Rupa Goswami in Navadvip in Krishna Loka, and he is also Rupa Manjari in the Krishna Loka Lila, in the Radha Krishna Lila, because you were mentioning that like Narada Muni, he doesn't exist in Krishna Loka. He's a resident of Krishna Loka. He doesn't exist in Krishna Loka in that form or under that name, Narada Muni. But what about Rupa Goswami, who is also a direct associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Chaitanya Lila is going on in Krishna Loka, so Lord Chaitanya has his pastimes there. So what about those devotees?
So so Chaitanya Lila is going on now. The pastime here, see, in the first canto in the picture, as you rightly said in Brahma Samhita, describing Shweta Dvipa is there. So it's a very good question, and Um, what my understanding, and I don't know if any other devotee has another understanding, and from scripture, from Srila Prabhupada words, that my understanding is that from Chaitanya Charitamrita described that many of the devotees, pure devotees, especially the different associates of Balaram and of Lord Chaitanya, they took birth as they took the form of certain pure devotees, the associates of Lord Chaitanya, Sangas Pangarsha Parshadam, Parshadam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Parshadam associates came in this form. So in Navadip, they are already existing. So the devotees there have two forms already. One is in the Krishna Lila, one is simultaneously in the Chaitanya Lila. That pastime is going on. So I do not know Srila Rupa Goswami how he was in Navadip pastime. Um, I have no idea. But what I do understand is that in the Navadip devotees who were there, they were all part of, they are all eternal forms also in the spiritual world in Goloka planet. As far as let's say Srila Prabhupada coming and all the other acharyas who are preaching the external pastimes, the external reason of distributing love of God. Lord Chaitanya has two reasons. One is the internal reason, which is to taste Lord Srimati Radharani's internal, her pleasure as a devotee. So Navdeep devotees are doing that, but when they are coming to preach to conditioned souls, they are coming to the material world and preaching through this Navdeep and expanding it here for the conditioned souls. So in that place, then different devotees takes those forms which may not be existing in the Goloka planet. So that's how from that understanding I feel Srila Prabhupada is not a form in the Navadip pastime. He may have another form in the Navadip pastime, and he is taking, and of course another form in Goloka pastime, which we just discussed. We don't want to speculate or publicly discuss even because of all these other reasons in our sampradaya. But he would have these two pastimes. We too, if we are meant to go or we desire to go to Goloka, we would also end up with these two forms simultaneously. But preacher pastimes are only in this place in the material world.
Just like Jagai Madai, they were this Jain Vijay. So that was also that they all just like after 3 birth they got liberated. But in this Chaitanya Leela they came again as Jagai Madai.
Yeah,
So
I don't remember why they came back again. Does anyone know?
How they came back again? Like, what does that mean?
They had only 3 lives to take, no, which they finished in Krishna Leela, and they reinstated as Vaikuntha residents. So I don't know. That's why we want to discuss this Srila Prabhupada's reason for coming. We can do that next week. Srila Prabhupada's reason, and it's very good what Krishna Kishore Prabhu, you brought the point up of Srila Rupa Goswami, and this is exactly what I wanted to discuss this point on why Srila Prabhupada is coming. The external reason and the internal reasons are there, and forms and all these things exactly like this. So we can take that up next week. And if devotees have different resources in Srila Prabhupada's books, different statements, it'd be wonderful to really churn the nectar, the internal and external pastimes, because why it's so important for us not only to understand more Srila Prabhupada, we can become more closer. We are by understanding that we understand him more, why he's doing things and why he's saying some things, but also we, if we are so fortunate in the future to come to a level, we can start cultivating these desires and these says aspirations, the internal because to internal reasons, with Srila Prabhupada's internal reasons and Srila Prabhupada's external reasons, so both we could cultivate desire to assist him in those pastimes. Okay. Hare Krishna. Pradyumna Prabhu, you have? Yeah.
yeah, bro, one more thing. Just like now that two cases. First in that Suchinam Shimatam Gehe, that an unsuccessful yogi, they will enjoy first in this that na higher planets, then they will take birth in the family of rich aristocrat or very brahminical one. So one in that in and the second one that Prabhupada is saying in Goswamis, and so in that first one all the devotees are there, or like other path they were doing just like yogis or gyanis they will.
That is 642, no? Yogis, and the bhaktas, they 642,
Yeah.
That-
So
yeah,
but they are not all pure devotees. All devotees can take.
birth. Like devotees
Yeah,
are
got it.
like devotees' children.
Yeah.
Like Shuddha Sattva Prabhu's child is there, taking birth, no? Is that devotee, 642.
Okay.
After
So
long, That is the after long practice.
So I mean to say that only bhakti yogi. Other yogis, they are unsuccessful. So I mean to ask that those who are
Really,
devotees.
bhakti yogis. It's all the yogis are described. Krishna is not distinguishing between the two, no? Where's the 641 one? Yeah. So, or he takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Birth in a family of yogis or transcendentalists, those with great wisdom, jnani, is praised wherein because the child born in such a family um, receives spiritual impetus from the very beginning of his life. It is especially the case in the Acharya and Goswami families, especially. Not that only. Such families are very learned and devoted by tradition and training, and thus they become spiritual masters. In India, there are many such Acharya families, but they have now degenerated due to insufficient education and training. By the grace of the Lord, there are still families that foster transcendentalists generation after generation. It's certainly very fortunate to take birth in such families. Fortunately, both our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and our humble self had the opportunity to take birth in such families by the grace of the Lord, and both of us were trained in the devotional service of the Lord from the very beginning of our lives. Later on, we met by the order of the transcendental system. So, on taking such a birth, he again revives the divine consciousness of his previous life and he tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success. So there are other yogis, not just bhakti yogis, Prabhu.
But I want in that Suchinam Shrimatam Gehe, then in that also bhakti, I mean, just like practicing bhakti yoga devotees, and there are other yogis. So in that Suchinam Shrimatam Gehe, who are in that devotees are also born.
Which verse? This is the
Just previous one. Yeah, Punya Shinya Suchinam Shrimatam, this one.
any unsuccessful yogi with a small with a short practice. Unsuccessful yogis are divided in two classes. One is fallen after very little progress, and one who is falling after a long practice of yoga. So little progress, they go to the heavenly planets and come down to Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe. Longer practice, they go to the Brahman Vaishnava families. Nothing says about bhakti yogis.
Yeah.
Any yoga practice. Krishna is facility for that.
But it was just like a small practice of bhakti yoga and a very big practice of other yoga. So
Right.
I was in that.
I see.
So
Well, that one is only described that one doesn't go into the into any animal birth. I don't know if I would think so. You are correct that if some practice, I don't know. Does anyone remember anything? His point. This is interesting point. If bhakti yogi, a short practice of bhakti yogi, is it equal to the long practice of yoga, other yogas, and they always take birth in devotee families?
it was just like one pastime, na? That one story. One person he just thrown one because he was to meet somebody. So that flower he just thrown in that Padma Purana. So just he thrown for there was a Vishnu temple. For that he was sent to Swarga, and there he understand okay. Then he just offered. He took the service and he went back. Some story was like that.
See, what I feel like Krishna is very merciful, no? Ye yatha mam prapadyante. He is always giving to us what we are desiring. So if someone has done little devotional service sincerely, he wants Krishna, but because of allurements, he fall down. Srila Prabhupada, because Krishna is there in which chapter it is? Second chapter, where Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that
Yeah.
right?
Neha Bikrama Nashosti Pratyavayos. Right.
Which verse is that?
Think 41 or something, if I'm not wrong. Neha Bikrama Nashosti Pratyavayo na vidyate Swalpam api asya dharmasya.
2.40.
Whenever there is no loss or diminution, the path can protect one from the most dangerous fear. So that is about the activity in Krishna consciousness or acting for the benefit of Krishna without expectation of sense gratification is the highest transcendent quality work. Even a small beginning of such activity finds no impediment, nor can that small beginning be lost at any stage. Any work begun on the material plane has to be complete, otherwise the whole attempt becomes a failure. But any work begun in Krishna consciousness has a permanent effect, even though not finished. The performance of such work is therefore not a loss, even if his work in Krishna consciousness is incomplete. So this is what you're talking about, devotee. 1% consciousness bears permanent results. So the next beginning is from the point of 2%, whereas in material activity without 100% success, there is no profit. Ajamila performed his duty in some percentage of Krishna consciousness, but the result is enjoyed at the end was 100% by the grace of the Lord. If someone gives up self-gratificatory pursuits and works in Krishna consciousness and then falls down on account of not completing his work, what loss is there on his part, and what can one gain if one performs material activities? Mental activities and their results end with the body, but what in Krishna consciousness carries the person again to Krishna consciousness even after the loss of the body. At least one is sure to have a chance in the next life of being born again as a human being, either in the family of a great culture Brahman or in a rich aristocratic family that will give him further chance to elevation. So this is again the same thing, it doesn't, here he is not talking about, this is the same Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe, not the long practice. So I mean, because of the ye yatamam prapadante and the sincerity part, that if there is a little sincere, like strong sincerity but little practice, Krishna gives better facilities to do devotion service. But if there is a lot of tendency to enjoy, then he also gives that facility. But either of that, when one is doing devotion service, because of which, and then one has fallen down, definitely there is, Krishna is going to give more and more facilities to go further. One is automatically attracted. Krishna will not let one forget. Because one place he says here, this is not the place, he says, one time one says to Krishna that you are the supreme Brahman, he is liberated. That one time. Where is that purport? One time, Krishna, you are the supreme Brahman. He accepts that, then he gets liberated. And Srila Prabhupada tells the similar way in other places too. In Nectar of Instruction, it is described, he writes that once one has surrendered to Krishna and a neophyte, then if one falls down, even then the Krishna is so merciful, he drags one by one's hair and brings them to him. So all that one lead us to understand that it is not just left alone, just born in a rich family and that's it. No. Needs further research.
Yeah, one more thing, just like how I was thinking how I came in Krishna consciousness. So first I was thinking Suchinam Shrimatamge, that in purport that Srila Prabhupada is saying they are from very they are following the regulative principles, and at last that in that Namam Dushkitino Muda, Srila Prabhupada writing even they come in contact with the pure devotee, so they also are capable to perform this one. So how Srila Prabhupada, that is causeless mercy. So how to understand causeless mercy if it has no cause and I have not done, then how Srila Prabhupada they have selected, just like
I mean, causeless doesn't mean, we went through that one of the discussion one time. Cause is not actually causeless. it is the mercy of the Lord, because one would have one time or sometimes served the pure devotee or shown interest or whatever, some fortune had developed. So that is the cause. The mercy is the cause. It's not actually causeless like that. So sometime in your past life you would have had some desire or some blessing, kripa of some pure devotee or like that. Not just because some yogi thinks you did or something. All of us like that. Whether in this life we could have started with zero also, or negative, and in this life we could have gotten pure devotees, lot of mercy, and other devotees, lot of mercy, and because of which we developed our sukruti, or from the past life. Okay, Hare Krishna Prabhus. We'll meet next week.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for your nice contribution. Pradyumna Prabhu, Shuddha Sattva Prabhu, Rancho Prabhu, you have been silent. And Leo Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. You have such nice, beautiful children, no? From past lives, they are coming.
I don't deserve them, but Srila Prabhupada is the one doing all the mercy, and just feel very, very blessed every day. Very, yeah, very past lives.
I've seen your Maria from childhood, no? You brought her like a little baby at the temple. How she is naturally a devotee, no?
Yeah, she received mercy from the deities, and of course, there's some past life situation that I'm not aware of.
Automatically, one is attracted to the yogic principles, no? That is there in 644. Automatically attracted. Okay, Hare Krishna Prabhus. Anvat Pranam. We'll see you next week. About
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much.